With nothing to hide, that's transparency. And by Chesapeake Employers Insurance, a workers' compensation insurance company. Well, the Orioles and the Diamondbacks middle game of 3. The Orioles had a must-win last night, the beginning of Fan Appreciation Weekend. And the O's tonight have a chance to gain some ground. Yep, the Tigers today had a lead 4-2 going to the 9th. And Kansas City got 5 runs, 2 to tie, and a 3-run Eric Hosmer home run. So as we begin play tonight, Jim, the Orioles and the Tigers 83 and 71, but an Orioles win, they resume the number 2 spot in the wild card by a half game. So an even bigger game than earlier on.
Well, they're all big, and everybody knows that. I mean, when you get down to 8, especially after the 4-game sweep by the Red Sox, they know that, especially the weekend, the Diamondbacks aren't the Blue Jays. The Orioles will play this weekend against the Diamondbacks, and you obviously you always respect the clubs you're playing. Again, you just can't. It's not like 4-wheel drive. We just put it in 4-wheel drive, and you get where you want to go. So they know what they needed to do. You saw it last night, and again the clutch home runs to tie the game, and then the walk-off home run by Trumbo. The pitching's good. The bullpen's been terrific, and you're just hoping that you went out and got Wade Miley because, number one, you needed a left-hander in your rotation. Number two, this is a veteran guy. In fact, he started his career, won 16 games, about 4 years ago for the Arizona Diamondbacks. So he hasn't pitched up to his capabilities, and you just hope that he'll be on the right page where he was against Tampa Bay last Sunday.
Yeah, the Orioles able to win a game last night, scoring only 3 runs. They've won only 17 games all year when they've scored 3 runs or less. So that was really a bonus to be able to win that game.
Well, runs are at a premium. 11 out of the last 15 games, 3 runs or less. And yeah, they do hit home runs. Yes, the runner in scoring position numbers have been tough to come by. But at the end of the day, they're in a good position. And they'll even be they know what they have to do, Jim. They got to take care of what they can take care of, which is to win all the games they can do. And it's not going to be easy when you go on the road. But if you look at early September, for the first time all year, they had a great road trip, won 6 out of 9. They might even have to be a little bit better against the Blue Jays and Toronto.
Well, the Orioles take the field here at Camden Yards in their Saturday orange alternate jerseys, which are very popular with the fans. Middle game of 3. This is a big one. If the Orioles want to sweep, got to get past tonight. Now let's join Ryan Wagner and the public address.
Ladies and gentlemen, we ask that you please rise and that gentlemen remove your hats as we welcome the Patuxent High School Navy Junior ROTC Color Guard, who will present the colors for this evening's game. Ladies and gentlemen, please remain standing as we welcome Nashville recording artist Cody Purvis, who will now honor our nation with his rendition of our Star-Spangled Banner.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Nicely done by Cody Purvis, our Star-Spangled Banner. Middle game of 3 against the Diamondbacks. Orioles with a thrilling win last night. As Jim mentioned, you tie it in the bottom of the 9th and then win it in the bottom of the 12th. Time for our BGE home game time temperature. It is a very lovely 71 degrees, still a bit humid at 60%, just a slight breeze out of the northeast. BGE Home is Baltimore's home team for heating, cooling, plumbing, and electrical. Why would you call anyone else? So Arizona comes into tonight's game, and they have stacked the lineup. 9 right-handed batters led by Gene Segura, who has been on a tear over the past 10 games. Owings, Goldschmidt, and Castillo with Tomas in right field. Drury moves into third base tonight. Jensen, Haniger, and Gosselin will DH and bat ninth.
And Wade Miley, again, fastballs, curveballs, sliders, and change-ups. So against the Rays, actually became a little bit more of what I assumed he was going to be. You can see more hits than innings pitched. Kind of, he pitched in, but he also established the outside corner, which they call as a left-hander the arm side of the plate, which blown away with change-ups and sinkers. But then the cramp underneath his throwing shoulder. Had to leave after 4. Had a couple of stumbles. Just I couldn't quite get his footing. So seems to be healthy. And again, when you look at the Diamondbacks, they come in at 64 and 89. So they are 21 and 20 against left-handed starters, and a lot of it has to do with the fact they got some pretty good right-handed hitters, and you're going to see them in the lineup tonight.
Well, the defense will be important behind Wade Miley. He does put the ball in play. Orioles are 3rd in the league in team fielding.
Yeah, so you got Stubbs, who's a burner out left, Jones and Trumbo. Machado, certainly, one of the great third basemen. Couple of Gold Gloves, Platinum Glove with that. Hardy 3 Gold Gloves. Scope Davis and Matt Wieters with a big clutch tying home run last night again behind the plate for the Orioles.
I wonder if there are any emotions for Wade Miley pitching against the team that drafted him. He was the Arizona Diamondbacks first-round pick back in 2008. 43rd overall in that round. He was a compensation pick. The Nationals lost Livan Hernandez. Here's Gene Segura. .316 batting average. He's 5th in the league, and Miley misses outside 1-0. Miley had 4 seasons with Arizona, went 38 and 35, 2011 through 2014. And a strike in the inside corner, 1-1.
Yeah, a little more comfortable into the righties, and that can work for a while. But ideally, you'd like to be able to make them think you can pitch to both sides of the plate. There's another one inside corner. So, I mean, these are one of those games where you really have to be able to pitch under control. I mean, we're talking about emotionally and then physically. There's a good breaking ball. It's a lot easier to do that, as we've seen. We talk about it all the time. I found it when I pitched. Strike 1. It just gives you a little bit of an edge. Hitters will chase a little bit more.
He just got a piece of that.
Yeah, cutter, a little slider right in on his fist. But boy, he's been red hot, closing in, as we mentioned. If you're with us last night, 192 hits. And then you get the numbers, 436 over his last 10 games.
This ball's ripped to left field. Stubbs is there, and he has it for the out. Well, Chip Hale tonight, Jim, stacking the lineup with right-handed batters. And here's how Arizona has fared against left-handed starters on the year as we get a look at our Jeep Inside the Numbers.
Yeah, their notes had him 21 and 21. So, man, they lost a win. So that's probably better for Miley. You can see, again, I mean, they're up there. They don't have a lot of left-handed hitters. Their best hitter was hurt early on, or at least one of the better hitters, A.J. Pollock. Only David Peralta, a good left-handed hitter, and he was also injured. So take your chances. The other thing is they run a little bit, but they will not be running off of Wade Miley. So he really can slow down the running game because he's got a terrific pickoff move.
Well, if you're Chip Hale and you look at the splits, it's obvious why he stacked the lineup. The only player who started last night that is not in the lineup tonight is Jake Lamb, the left-handed batting third baseman. They moved Drury in from the outfield to play third. 0-2 is fouled back, but Miley, righties have hit .356, very healthy against them on the year. Lefties .244. That's still probably higher than he'd like, but it's 110 points lower.
Well, he just hasn't pitched up to his capability. He's tried to power his way through some pretty tough lineups. There's the changeup. You know, it's funny. The irony is that right before the trade, he pitched against the Cubs. Happened to turn that game on. It was a Saturday afternoon game. Probably his best game of the year. He had a no-hitter going into the 7th inning. And then, of course, he would come to the Orioles and not be able to pitch. I mean,
outstanding off-speed pitch for the strikeout and 2 men down.
And I'm a little biased when you know, you look over the last 10 days. He's had Scotty McGregor along with Dave Wallace and Dom Cheedy. Scotty comes up, and I mean, these are the kind of things that Scotty could do. He won 18, 20 games. So again, you try to slow the bat down. How do you do that? You throw your curveball, and again, this is about as perfectly executed pitch as you can. You start it off the outside corner, drop it on the corner, and there's strike 1 away. Go in and out, change speeds, add a little bit. When you get ahead, get him off the plate, open up that outside corner, pitching in, which he seems to be pretty comfortable doing.
Lined into the shift off the glove of Hardy. That's in the left field for a 2-out single. That one was out over the plate, and he rips it for a 2-out single. Let's get a look at Miley's splits. This is first with Seattle, and then since coming to the Orioles in his 9 starts.
Yeah, the irony is that the strikeouts have gone up, but like I said when we did the game last against Tampa, I don't think his reputation is really a power pitcher, but he's trying to pitch like that. So, you know, maybe slow it down, you know, both physically and emotionally. Use the changeup and take your chances. Great defense, so you can pitch to contact with the Orioles if you can keep the ball on the ground.
Castillo will take a strike. Well, just like last night, Gallardo retired the first 2, then Goldschmidt drew a walk, then a single, then a blue double, and Arizona had a quick 1-0 lead. Let's see if Miley now can get out of it. Castillo 3 for 13 on the Arizona road trip, and there's another base hit. So just like last night, the first 2 retired, the next 2 reach, and a runner in scoring position with 2 down.
Well, you're saying I don't care what you throw. They stack the lineup. You know, 92 is the average pitch, so this is a 91-mile-per-hour fastball. You see for yourself, right down the middle. You know, where was the curveball to Goldschmidt? Right down the middle. And that's what has gotten him in trouble. Hopefully, at least if you're an Oriole fan, that's not going to continue. And I would imagine that's another number you don't certainly want. League average is about 259 this year. It gives you an idea of how high he is. So needs to make a pitch here. I can't imagine it's going to be a long leash. Got to win every game you can. As you mentioned, Tigers have already lost. You have a deep bullpen. You know, you have Tyler Wilson, who can pitch multiple innings. Worley would be a candidate, except he pitched 4 against the Red Sox.
And a bouncer to Hardy. Flip to second, that ends the inning. So Miley does a good job. He gets Tomas into the fielder's choice. We get to the bottom of the first. Arizona doesn't score, and here come the O's. Out on hand for this Saturday night game at Camden Yards. O's looking for a win to get back into that number 2 spot in the wild card race. Here's the O's lineup brought to you by Southwest. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. Jones, Davis, Machado with Mark Trumbo in the cleanup spot. He has hit very well, in particular with home runs in the Interleague this year. Mancini will DH. Scope, Wieters, Hardy, and Drew Stubbs gets the start in right field. He'll bat 9th.
So Robbie Ray, loves the fastball. Why not? 94, 95, big guy. I mean, 6'2", 195. Seems to be a lot bigger than that. Over 200 strikeouts. The hits up. He does throw a change up every once in a while. Pretty good slider. And again, don't be deceived by the record, 8-13. Pretty good pitcher on the road. So he, at least on his last 4 starts. So better on the road than at home. And again, I talked to a lot of scouts. You talked to Chip Hale yesterday. Bob Brenly loves his fastball. He's kind of a max effort guy. So we'll see if he'll be able to command his stuff. Very small ballpark here at Camden Yards with a lot of home run guys.
Ball 2 to Adam, back in the leadoff spot tonight. Buck Showalter also putting in the extra right-handed batters. He has Mancini DHing and Stubbs in left. So Pedro Alvarez and Hyun-Soo Kim in the lineup last night, not in the lineup tonight. Ball 3.
Yeah, what you're hoping is, Miley made some big pitches to get. Made a big pitch, nice curveball to Tomas to get out of it. Have yourself an inning. Orioles almost did it in the first. Davis almost missed a 3-run home run. They let Shelby Miller settle down, and he really pitched well last night.
Upstairs, ball 4 and a 4-pitch walk. And the Orioles get a leadoff base runner.
And no defense for that. Jensen, Haniger, Tomas, Drury, Owings, Segura, Goldschmidt, and then Wellington Castillo. Second night in a row behind the plate.
And Chris Davis in the number 2 spot, the only left-handed batter in there. Chris, the 38 home runs, is tied for 5th in the American League. He is just 5 for 36 on the homestand. That is a 139 clip. The Orioles are hoping that he could break out over the last week. They certainly need his run production. And a strike at the knees.
Well, it just seems like, and if you look at this month, 2 of the 6 home runs are against left-handers. They've been the other way. I mean, really searching for balance at the plate, having trouble kind of separating the hands and getting the front foot down.
Bounces. Oh, what a play by Castillo. Saved the wild pitch.
And by doing that, if you're Adam Jones, you got, I mean, it's the first inning. You do not want to run yourself into an out. And because Castillo is able to keep it in front of him, you can't really get an early read. So you don't know if it's going to go to the side as it turns out. I mean, if you knew that, you probably would have been breaking. But with Davis and then Machado and Trumbo, you don't want to give him an out here, especially when he seems to be struggling a little bit.
And no shift on for Davis. Bouncer towards the middle, and it squeaks on through for a base hit, and Jones is easily going to get to third. So Davis takes advantage. No shift.
Yeah, if they had the shift on, it's probably a double play. Well, the good thing is, I mean, it's a slider, and again, he just makes contact. Take a look right there. The only but he could have caught that ball is the ump. And that goes, and again, they play a little bit deeper. And this is a small ballpark, so nice first to third base running by Adam Jones.
So Chris Davis with a base hit. He'll feel good about that. That was a nice swing.
It was a controlled swing, and you like that.
Well, here's Manny.
I mean, he doesn't have to. A lot of guys have to swing hard to hit a home run. Chris Davis is not one of them.
36 home runs for Machado. That is tied for 9th in the American League, and he's closing in on 100 RBIs. Ball 1 inside.
Yeah, I mean, it's a great idea to pitch in, and as we mentioned, I actually was watching the game a couple of weeks ago when he struck out the 200th batter, and that's quite a. Well, take a look. I mean, that's what for every other start allows a run, and in the first.
Ball 2. Now the Orioles really patient early on here against Robbie Ray. Robbie Ray making his first career appearance against the Orioles. Only 2 hitters in the lineup have seen him before. Mark Trumbo, who's on deck, and Drew Stubbs, who will bat 9th. And combined between Trumbo and Stubbs, it's 5 at-bats.
Well, and Wellington Castillo goes out there and says, hey, calm down, because he is a max effort guy. First innings can be tough, different mound, different league, different hitters, probably not uncomfortable. But again, he's trying to get a guy out that's hitting 299 with 36 home runs and closing in on 100 RBIs. And they're not even close.
3-0 on Manny. Manny's gotten 20 at-bats without an RBI. There's Mike Butcher, the pitching coach. You got to really like the patience here in this first inning, Jim.
Boy, that's a good thing. But the other side of it is he's not even been close with his pitches. He made a good pitch to Chris. He hit it. Other than that, there it is. It's funny. I was talking to Gordon Lakey, our longtime friend. He's band scouts for Philly, and he said he's seen him spring training. Great arm, but because he's a big guy, hard to reproduce and replicate the windup and repeat it. That's a lot of guys have that, but he does have a electric arm.
And a base hit in the right field, and the Orioles grab the lead. Outstanding job of hitting there from Manny. Worked him away, and he slaps it through for an RBI single.
Well, when you're that wild, number one, you're trying to find the strike zone, and he does, and then the approach is about as good as it gets right here. You're not getting greedy. Subjugate your ego. One of the best swings in baseball. You see the hole right there, and he just hits it right there. And he's able to look for his pitch. He can look fastball. He's only thrown one slider. It was a pretty good one. Didn't get any luck with that. Davis hit it into center field.
Well, this is a real good start, Jim. Here's the Orioles against left-handed starters this year, and overall they've struggled.
Well, they have, and again, it's not as good as against right-handers, and that's about the average amount of runs scored in an American League game for the season. And again, against right-handers, they're well above that. But of course, they're getting a little help here because Ray is struggling for the strike zone, and then Manny could look 3-1, get his pitch. And the other thing, what's so great about that is, especially if you're rooting for the Orioles, is that he really did subjugate his ego and just flick it into right field. They haven't done a lot of that lately.
So here is Mark Trumbo, one of the heroes last night. There were several. This happened to come at the end. Still nobody out. And an off-speed pitch, and here's the walk-off, Jim, in the bottom of the 12th.
Yeah, again, I mean, 2-strike pitch, quick swing, just reacted to the ball. 3 solo home runs. 1 in the 8th to give him a 2-1 game, 2-2 by Wieters when he hits the home run, and then the game winner by Mark Trumbo.
I didn't realize that Adam Jones had the ice bucket there.
Oh, no,
wow.
Yeah, that was a real deal.
0-2 on the swing and a miss.
That wasn't the faux shower. It wasn't the sunflower seeds. It wasn't the bubble gum. A little slider. I'm sure Mike Butcher said, hey, okay, your command's a little bit off in your fastball. Use your other pitch. And he's got a change of it, but that's down the list. That's the third. And of course, again, a guy that can punch out over 200, which he's done. Yeah, that's what he's looking for.
Tied for 4th in the American League in strikeouts with 210. And he has an interesting ratio as Trumbo fights it off. He's at 11.39, so you would round that up to 11.4 strikeouts per 9, but 11.39. The only pitcher in baseball that has a better strikeout per 9 is Jose Fernandez of Miami, who is obviously a strikeout pitcher, but Robbie Ray is right behind him.
Yeah. Well, he's had a nice year, second year with Arizona. Yeah, we saw him briefly when he, came. Well, Jim, as well as I. I mean, he signed with Washington, but we saw him pitch very briefly for the Tigers.
0-2 is foul back. And here's the rest of the list. The highest strikeouts per 9 innings. And well, you expect Scherzer to be there. Syndergaard, Thor
goes 100,
and Pineda. That's really how he gets outs, because there's a lot of balls put in play on Pineda. That's a pretty impressive list.
Yeah, to be on that group, I mean, Jose Fernandez can make the ball look real small, upper 90s, and a swooping breaking ball. Good take there. He swung at that pitch for strike 2 and then takes it. So you can look at all the film, but there's nothing like going up to home plate and kind of seeing the release point, and whether it's deceptive, what kind of movement it has. Mark Quinn on the right there, assistant to Scott Coolbaugh behind him. 2 respective hitting coaches for the Orioles, looking on and hoping they have a big inning. Big innings have been hard to come by.
1-2 on Trumbo.
And there's the changeup, and kind of telegraphed it. Yeah, not very good arm speed on that, which is, you kind of see why maybe that's down the list.
Davis at second, Machado at first, and Trumbo, who was 0-2 after 2 pitches, about to see his 7th pitch in this at-bat. Trumbo 6 for 29 on the homestand, but 2 of those 6 are home runs.
Well, it's funny. I mean, he hits a walk-off home run in Boston. Then he comes to Baltimore against the Rays on Sunday. Not a walk-off, but the game-winning home run. Game-winning home run, and then a game-winning. So 3 last 3 home runs have all won games for the Orioles.
He now has 5 career walk-off home runs.
And there's another changeup, and everybody advanced. Should have been blocked by Castillo. There is no excuse not to block that changeup.
I wonder if he was crossed up. No, he didn't really react.
I don't think so. I mean, right here he goes down, but again, I'm not saying it's easy. But again, you're very much like infielders. You always kind of want to work up. And at the glove, you can see he just doesn't quite get the glove up. He just assumes the ball is going to bounce higher. It stays down, goes right underneath the wicket all the way to the backstop.
So chance for a couple of RBIs here with a base hit.
Wow.
Ball 4 on a very close pitch.
Yeah, trying to strike him out. He's still looking in. And Mike Estabrook doing the home plate umpiring tonight.
Chappelle didn't like the call.
Well, obviously you want it.
Well, here's Trey Mancini. What a first week. He's already gone deep twice.
Oh, yeah. Well, they broke up a no-hitter. Then he took a three-run home run against David Price. That tied the game for the Orioles at that time. Then he would double later in that game down the right field line. So it's not just about hitting home runs.
Still nobody out. Bases loaded. Foul tip held by Castillo. Now Mancini was telling me at the batting cage before the game he has over 30 members of his family here tonight. Of course, his immediate family, sisters, his parents. He has family here from Florida, where he grew up, from Maryland, where his parents have family, and from New Jersey. And he had so many requests that a lot of the family had to get their own tickets. But popped up foul. That should be in the crowd.
Yeah.
Goldschmidt is over, and it is.
Yeah, a couple of good pitches. One that ran off the plate.
There's his mom and dad.
Yeah.
Beth, his mom.
They can't
blonde
look.
hair.
This could be pretty painful if he gets up 625 times next year. Got to get the blinders. Well, you know the deal here. Trey's tried to put it in play. Great thing about hitting with a runner at third and less than 2 outs. Fly ball can give you another run, and then of course you know what Robbie Ray's trying to do. What he's done 210 times, which is strike people out.
Strike 3 called. Got him on the off-speed pitch. Mancini thought it was outside.
Yeah, I think of that or high. Take a look. I mean, it looks like it might have caught the play, but anytime a catcher brings the ball that far, watch the glove come back down to the strike zone. But it is the first inning, so I don't think anybody really knows what Mike Estabrook's strike zone is. You got a pretty good idea. Favors the high pitch.
Well, Ray thought he had Trumbo on what was ball 4. Maybe got a break there on Mancini. Here's Jonathan Scope. So 1 down now with the bases loaded. And Jonathan is certainly due. He has had a tough homestand. There's a strike at the knees on 1. Jonathan on the homestand is batting 167, 6 for 36 without an RBI. He's got Davis at third, Machado at second, Trumbo at first with 1 down.
I mean, 169 for the entire month of September. Well, he's played every game. I got to think he's pretty tired. First time he's ever done that. And there's Castillo making a nice stop.
In batting practice today, Scott Coolball was really emphasizing for Jonathan to use right field. And every time Jonathan hit a nice line drive to the right side, Coolball gave him some encouragement, saying, there you go. That's what we're talking about. There you go.
Well, you know, I talked to him the other day, and he got 2, soft hit to center and then another line drive. That it just makes you stay on the ball. It makes you be able to, get some hits. Not every hit's a line drive.
Oh, that's a good look.
And then the other thing is, it actually, the key to hitting. I mean, you look at all the great hitters. I mean, all the guys I faced, whether it was Brad or Clemente or Carew, you go down the list. They always kind of knew where the bat head was. It's a control of the actual part of the bat you're trying to hit the ball with. And again, using the middle of the plate kind of gets you into that mode. And that's what Scott Coolball has talked since he's become the hitting instructor here. But again, it's a little different than batting practices. You got a guy throwing 95, you don't really know what he's throwing. But at the end of the day, right here, I mean, you want to put a ball in the play. If you could see their defense. I mean, Goldschmidt actually plays in because he's going to try to cut a ball off. And here's Ball, and he's a good fielder. If you hit a ball to the right side, if you don't clear him, they're going to try to make a play at the plate. Or if it's hit hard enough, probably go for a double play.
Yeah, Goldschmidt being so wide of the bag. Trumbo's getting a real good lead. Well, 2-2 on Scope with the bases loaded. Chopper back to the mound. Ray comes to the plate out there, back to first, and a double play gets Robbie Ray out of a big jam. So the Orioles settle for 1 run on the RBI hit by Machado, but the double play will end the inning. Diamondbacks go 1-2-3. We head to the second, 1-0 O's. Forward to Miller time later in tonight's game, brought to you by Miller Lite. Big crowd on hand on this Saturday night, second to last home game of the regular season. Yes, the Orioles are hoping there is some October baseball here at Camden Yards. Miley allowed a pair of 2-out singles, but then got Tomas to bounce out to end the first. His last win was against the Nationals in D.C. on August 24th, Interleague Baseball. Ball 1 to Brandon Drury. Jensen and Haniger follow.
Yeah, pitched pretty well. 5 innings, 7 hits, a couple of runs. That game that we talked about against the Cubs, interleague play when he was a Mariner. I mean, that was a pretty special game. 7 innings, 1 hit, 1 run, 1 walk, 9 strikeouts.
Center field for Jones. Goes back on it. Now waits. So on a 2-0 pitch, a lazy fly ball, 1 away in the Arizona second. Fans, don't forget Monday is your last chance to guarantee your opportunity to purchase tickets to potential 2016 postseason games here at Oriole Park. You can earn postseason ticket priority now by placing a deposit on any 2017 season plan. Go online, Orioles.com/postseason, and place a deposit on any full or partial season plan, and that'll guarantee your access to the drama of Orioles October baseball. Again, that's Orioles.com/postseason for all the details.
Now, so you can see Estabrook favoring the high strike. Now, those are the numbers for Kyle Jensen in the big leagues at AAA Reno. Own the Pacific Coast League. And when you hit 30 home runs and driving 120 runs,
he may be one of those late bloomers. 28 years old. He was drafted originally by the Florida Marlins back in 2009, so he's been in pro ball for a while. He was born in Walnut Creek, California, right outside of Oakland. Went to St. Mary's College in California. That's where he was drafted.
Big swing right there. Down, down.
Arizona got him as a minor league free agent, so he was one of Arizona's what-if guys, and he certainly is.
Yeah, I suppose if you went to the ballpark in Reno, he thrilled you a lot. That kind of summer. We talked about it last night. Pacific Coast League has always been one of those notorious hitters leagues. Tough to pitch in, at least in the modern era.
Just outside, ball 3.
When I was a kid, I spent some time in California. I used to go see the Hollywood Stars play.
Yeah, AAA team, right?
Yeah, they had one downtown LA at Old Wrigley Field.
Strike 3 called. He got it on the outside corner at the knees.
Now you're kind of hoping you're going to get the low strike, and he does for second strikeout of the evening. Take a look, Matt, catch it, and then again brings it up. Estabrook. I think he thinks it's underneath the knee, certainly the front knee.
It's kind of amazing how many calls catchers get for their pitchers when the umpire has to clearly see their moving glove. I mean, we saw Castillo do it, and we saw Wieters do it. I mean, wouldn't you think it's pretty obvious?
But Buck Showalter was talking about that. The grading scale is
slow roller, tough play for Manny if it stays fair, but it goes foul. That was an alert play by Manny.
The grading scale is actually out in front of home plate. I mean, that's where they have the camera, the triangulation. Right. Used to be what the Questec triangulation, 3 cameras.
It's a good word.
So Angel Hernandez once was flying with him. He said, "Listen, I was a big baseball fan. Grew up in Miami. Now I just look at out in front of the plate." And then, of course, Buck Showalter says, who manages the Orioles, he said, "Yeah, but all of a sudden they're grading all the catches for framing, yet the umpires are calling the ball when it comes across the front of the plate. So it's kind of That's maybe why they get away with it. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But when somebody drags the ball, what, 2-3 inches, and they call it, you got to figure the ball was high or outside or inside or whatever the case may be.
Haniger fights it off to stay alive. Well, Miley in each of the first 2 innings retires the first 2 hitters, looking for a clean inning here. In his last 4 starts, he's gone 0-3 with a 6.75 ERA. And he got him. Looked like a breaking ball, something off speed, and Miley, back-to-back Ks, ends the inning 3 up, 3 down. Mid-second, 1-0 O's. Let's get a look at the races. The Royals had a big 9th inning, a 5-run 9th inning, and beat the Tigers. Eric Hosmer, 3-run home run after it was tied. So the Royals win that game. Blue Jays beat the Yankees 3-0 on a 3-run home run in the bottom of the 8th by Jose Bautista off Tyler Clippard. Greater coverage of baseball brought to you by T-Mobile. There's Matt Wieters leading off. Fouls it back. So at the moment, the Blue Jays are now 85-69. They're holding the #1 wild card. Tigers are 83-71, which is the Orioles record, but if Birds win here, they'll leap ahead of Detroit at 84-71 by a half game.
Yeah, because of playing the one more game, and then Seattle's only one back in the loss column.
In that Tiger game, it was 4-2 going to the 9th. A 2-run double by Paulo Orlando tied it, and then Hosmer followed with a 3-run home run off Francisco Rodriguez, the closer,
who's having a nice year for him. Certainly not. I mean, it's just a different pitcher now. He uses all his stuff, but not the overpowering K-Rod that we used to know when he came up with the Angels. So once again, even though they do score a run, took them to the 8th inning. Talking about the Orioles against Shelby Miller in the bullpen last night. They let Ray off the hook. Of course, he had something to do with it. He pitched very well. There's the changeup, and it's almost a show-me pitch. And then he's going to have to get him out with fastballs and sliders, which are good enough to do that.
28 pitches in the first inning. Hardy's on deck, and then Stubbs after Wieters. Ball 3.
Yeah, it's surprising with this kind of arm, and maybe the stuff has gotten better, that he went in the 12th round. You would think that it might have been a little earlier round pick. Left-handed power arm.
Line to right field. There's a base hit for Wieters. Tomas trying to cut it off. Wieters is thinking 2, and they bobble the ball in the outfield, and Wieters is now thinking 3, and he's going to reach. Well, that should be a double and an error, but nonetheless, the Orioles have the leadoff man on at 3rd.
Well, he was thundering around first. Great view from the booth here, and I'm going, okay. He plays in front of him. He's going to go to second. And then, of course, as he's going into second, he sees that Tomas. This is the old Matt Wieters from last year. He goes out and hits the ball the other way as well. Right here, he sees that. Now he's chugging into second. But take a look. Right here, he's taking double. Plays in front of him. And then right here, he sees, okay, he dropped it. I can get all the way to 3rd, and that is huge. With nobody out. You're looking to get as many runs as you can and make it easier for J.J. Hardy, who steps to the plate.
So there's a double and an error on Tomas, dropping the ball, allowing Wieters to move to 3rd.
And they're going to play the infield halfway in. And the reason I would think that Chip Hale will do this is basically, you take a chance, even though Ray's a strikeout guy, because if Hardy gets on, he's not going to steal the base. Or maybe you cut a run off. You can see the numbers there. Great runner in scoring position number. And again, this is what Ray has been faced with. He's saying, okay, I got to strike somebody out again. And the big strikeout of Mancini in the first kept it to 1 run.
And the 0-2 is lifted to left field. Wieters will tag. Jensen has it. Here comes Matt towards the plate. Here comes the throw. It is off the line. Wieters scores. And it's a 2-0 Oriole lead. So Hardy on an 0-2 pitch, airborne to left. And the sac fly adds to the Orioles lead.
Yeah, that kind of 0-2 pitch, that'll give you nightmares if you're a pitching coach or even if you're pitching. because this is not. I mean, it ends up right down the middle. And JJ is having a great September. You know, Jensen actually pretty strong arm. On one hop all the way, but Matt easily gets in for the second run. Boy, that was a non-competitive 0-2 pitch.
Drew Stubbs, aggressive swing, fouls it back. Stubbs got in the game last night as a pinch runner, getting a start tonight in left. Those are his season numbers. As an Oriole, he's batting .176. He is 3 for 17 with the O's. And on the corner, 0-2. Now, Robbie Ray was drafted, as you look at Hardy, his 5th sac fly of the year and his 47th RBI. One of these pitchers, Robbie Ray, left-handed and in demand. As Jim mentioned, he was drafted by the Nationals in 2010. And then after the 2013 season, he was traded to Detroit for Doug Fister. The Nationals were looking for more of a veteran starter. Ray was a younger player, and he went to Detroit. And Stubbs down on strikes for the second out. And then following the 2014 season, just 1 year later, there was a big 3-team deal. Here's a look at the strikeout pitch off speed, and Stubbs swings through it. The Tigers, the Yankees, and Arizona in that trade. Didi Gregorius ended up in New York. Shane Green, who had that great finish that prior year, went to Detroit, and Ray ended up in Arizona.
And Matt, of course, describing as almost, well, double and triple.
He could call it a triple.
Yeah. Well, he got the third. That was the important thing. JJ liked that.
So each inning, the leadoff man for the Orioles reaches, and each inning scores.
Well, you can see where Ray has good stuff. I mean, his command to this point, and certainly that can change. And a lot of times, you know, it takes a while to get rhythm. He's got a good arm. There's the changeup.
Slicing away from Tomas, and he can't reach it. Maryland Lottery contestant of the game, Larry Miller of Dundalk, has won $500 for being selected and will win $500 more for every Orioles home run hit tonight. Grab a home run Rich's scratch off before they're going gone, and you could win up to $50,000. Visit mdlottery.com/baseball. Adam drew a 4-pitch walk leading off. He is 8 for 34 on the homestand. Orioles 3-6 through the first 9 games of this 11-game homestand, but with the win last night, Bucks team is back above 500 in the month. They're at 11-10 now in September. Trying to win their 84th of the year.
Yeah, the problem is the Red Sox. It's, you know, what, 9 in a row going into the night. Or did they already play? Let's see. Yeah, they're playing
Pops up the breaking ball. Castillo now in foul ground. Squeezes it for the final out. O's get a run on a double, an error, and a sac fly through 2-0 O's. Baseball on Masson is brought to you by Southwest. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. And by M&T Bank, understanding what's important. Really is a lovely evening here at Camden Yards. It was overcast most of the day. The sun did break out during batting practice, and yep, it's a Saturday night crowd. A lot of families here tonight. This was the hoodie giveaway night. Fans are enjoying that. If the chill, they're also enjoying Wade Miley through 2 innings.
Yeah, I'd love to have a shutdown inning. We talk about him all the time. It just continues the momentum.
Phil Gosselin getting his start at DH tonight, so he benefits from the American League rules, and he's a local guy, sort of. He was born in Westchester, PA, outside of Philly, went to high school in Malvern, PA, and went to college at the University of Virginia.
Yeah, good breaking ball there. You know, typical National League guy that, you know, he can play all over. He's played third, he's played shortstop, he's actually played in the outfield 79 times to the plate as a pinch hitter.
Look out. Almost got Wayne Kirby.
Well, again, you know, look at Chris Owings, who had a nice night. I mean, he looks like he's that type of hitter. You know, you pitch him away.
Michael Porn liked it.
Wherever Wayne is, they find him.
And just inside.
I think he gets upset about that. I don't know why, but very emotional guy. Wears the emotions on his sleeve.
Bounce to Manny. Tough in between Hop, and he gloves. What a play by Machado.
Well, again, when you play it that way, boy, that's a tough way to play it. If you wanted to contrast it, I'm not, judging, but Brooks Robinson, Brooksy won it. What he would do is he just kind of would come in, actually keep it. You get blue bruises all over his body. Both of them work, and of course, when you have hands like Machado, you can do that. And again, that's why they call it the hot corner. It's hard to really pick your bounce or your hop.
Manny cuts in front of Hardy and gets his man. I love how he inspects the baseball before he throws it. And 2 quick outs on a couple of ground balls. Well, tomorrow the regular season at Oriole Park will come to a close. O's and Diamondbacks at 1:35, and all fans receive the Maryland Flag Orioles cap presented by DAP. Show your Free State pride and celebrate your birds during the final game of the regular season. And after the game, it's Sunday, so all the kids 14 and under can run the bases here at Oriole Park. So come on out and join us, Orioles.com or 888-848-BIRD. You will enjoy that cap. There's a liner to right. Trumbo was shallow. He's got it, and a 1-pitch out. So back-to-back 3-up, 3-down innings for Wade Miley. 8 pitches. He retires the side mid-third, 2-0 O's. To lead the league, and yes, they do live on the long ball. They now have 39 game-winning RBIs on home runs, including last night, third most in baseball. 147 of their 242 are solos. That is the most in the bigs. 51.7% of runs scored from home runs. That's second most in Major League Baseball and most in the American League. How about 368 runs scored from their home runs? That's most in baseball. And 29 games with all of the runs scoring coming in on home runs. Third most in Major League Baseball. That was the case last night, as they had 3 solo home runs for a 3-2 win. So this is a team built for the long ball, and they get it. Hey, hi, how are you?
Text 29292.
Well, Chris down in the count 0-2. He had a good at bat in the first. Ground ball single up the middle. Of course, this time nobody on base, and now they're shifting on him.
Well, that's where he hits the ball most of the time. Now he's hits of his home runs, 38, 16 have gone to left field. And when he lifts the ball the other way, the ball can go a long way. It's a good take. I mean, even the swing right there with on the 1-strike pitch was a better swing. I mean, I don't care what you do athletically, you have to have good balance. And when he gets out of kilter, and that's been a lot this month, he just, the bat doesn't stay in the zone. And that just fools him. More of a curveball there by Robbie Ray. I guess I'm talking to myself. I didn't know he had that pitch. Throwing hard sliders, and he drops down, throws him a hook. That's a good one. Look where it ends up. Yeah, he's gone. I mean, see, just
third strikeout for Ray. Chris 1 out of 2. That gets Manny up. Manny poked a single the other way for an RBI single, so he now has a 3-game hitting streak going. This is his 3rd RBI on the homestand, but it got the Orioles an early lead. The Orioles are going to need the run producers to snap out of it when they hit the road. They'll travel Monday for a 3-game series with the Blue Jays. The Blue Jays actually have a 4-game series with the Yankees, and it's one of those holdover series. So game 4 is Monday against the Yankees. And then the Orioles will be the Blue Jays' final 3 home games of the year, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And when Buck and the Birds head to New York next weekend for the final 3, the Blue Jays go to Boston.
Well, again, everybody projects. You look at what you've done all year long, and they go, well, hey, against the Blue Jays and the Yankees on the road, the Orioles are 4-10. But I've been there. Things changed the last week of the season, last month of the season.
And they bounce it to short, playing in between Hop is Owings.
Yeah.
And 2 men down. On Maryland Live Casino, Inside the Numbers, as Mark Trumbo comes up, and a one-time Arizona Diamondback, and here are the numbers with each club.
Well, I can say obviously he likes the orange and black. The desert gray, dusty gray, whatever. Again, look at that, 21.8 at bats for a home run this year. 13.2, which leads the Orioles. I think Davis is right behind him. Same with Manny. And then kind of in the middle of the pack, in between all those guys, is Pedro Alvarez, because he's hit 22 home runs and limited at bats.
Well, the Orioles have 83 wins, and they have homered in 71 of the 83 wins. They have 12 wins on the year without a home run. So that really shows you the reliance on the long ball, and that's okay. They're built for the home run. But they do struggle at times to score without it, as has been the case on this homestand.
Oh, then you get in the, I mean, you can't always, I mean, if I was going to throw home runs as a pitcher, I just wanted to do it like the Orioles did last night, throw solos. I don't think you can always dictate as a hitter when you're going to hit a home run. If you could, you'd hit a lot more than you do.
Oh, what a play by Segura. He trapped it, and from the seat, he throws out Trumbo. Trumbo hit it hard, but right at him, and Segura with a quick play. Of course, the former shortstop. So 3 up, 3 down go the O's. We head to the fourth. 2-0 Birds. To you by the RAV4 Hybrid, all-wheel drive and unexpected performance. Visit buyatoyota.com. Well, moments ago, welcome back to Camden Yards, our old friend Rodrigo Lopez, who is doing Spanish language radio for the Arizona Diamondbacks. He now lives in the Phoenix area with his family. His kids are now 13 and 11. Yeah. Amazing. He was here from 2002 through 2006 and won 60 games as an Oriole. 60 of his 81 big league wins were here for the Birds.
They used to dread in Boston when he would come up there, because he was a Red Sox killer. But of course, if you're winning all those games, you're beating other people.
He had a real good two-seam fastball that.
Well, he could pitch. Yeah, he won 15 games for the year. Orioles 1 year.
Down and in, 2-1.
I told him, I said, you know, really, as good looking as you have a great face for TV. Nobody knows what you look like on radio. He started laughing. But his kids are playing youth baseball there.
Skied to right. Trumbo is right there. So Wade Miley retires a dangerous hitter. Goldschmidt leading off here in the fourth. The Orioles are proud to once again host the Longevity Foundation's Breathe Deep Baltimore. It's a 5K walk to raise funds and awareness for lung cancer in memory of the Orioles' late public relations director, Monica Pence Barlow. Now, the event will take place, mark your calendar, right here at Oriole Park, Saturday, October 22nd, with the proceeds benefiting the nonprofit's efforts to provide research grants as well as community support for those with lung cancer. To register or for more information, Orioles.com/longevity. That is always a fun event.
Well, 4 innings, 4 leadoff batters retired, and that's a good way to pitch. They came in, 64%. Kevin Gausman was at 64%. Tillman 65%. Obviously, the highest, other than Oliver Drape, with limited amount of innings, is who would you think retired the most first batters on the Orioles?
Zach.
Good guess. 79% of the time.
Oliver Drake, congratulations. He has a big league win. His first big league win last night. Strike 3 called.
Yep.
Boy, Wade Miley's going right after these hitters.
Well, take a look at your Mercedes pitch track, and right here, Wieters into the inside corner. That's where the ball ends up. Makes it easy for the umpire. That's your Mercedes pitch track, presented by Mercedes-Benz. The best or nothing. And you're going to have to like it, Mr. Tomas.
Yes. Foul tip held by Wieters. A little late on the swing, so 0-2. There's Manny Tomas. defected from Cuba, 25 years old. He signed with the Diamondbacks in 2014 and got off to a little bit of a slow start in their organization. And there was some whispers that maybe he wasn't the player they thought, but those whispers no longer necessary because he is the player they thought.
Well, especially with the bat. I mean, he's playing right field, but apparently he signed as a third baseman, and because he doesn't have great range. And of course, Arizona's a really big field.
Yeah.
Ball carrier because the air is a little lighter. There's a great curveball.
Gets away from Wieters, who runs into Estabrook, but jogging the first is Tomas. Wow. And that helps Wieters out. So a 3-up, 3-down inning. Wade Miley has retired 10 consecutive batters. Sisters and 2016 Para-Olympians Hannah and Tatiana McFadden from Clarksville throughout the simultaneous first pitches. Hannah placed 4th in the 100 meters and 7th in the 400-meter track events at the Paralympic Games in Rio. And Tatiana won 4 gold medals, 400-meter, 800-meter, 1,500-meter, and 500-meter track events. Also 2 silver medals. She also ranks 1st in the world in 6 events. So a real nice moment here. As Trey Mancini swings through it, 0-1. Mancini was called out on strikes on a pitch he thought was a ball his first at bat with the bases loaded.
Yeah, maybe a little high. And of course, the home runs came. Eduardo Rodriguez had a no-hitter going. Ball was inside, kind of where they're trying to go now, and he smoked it to left field. And then like a changeup from David Price left it in the middle of the plate. 3-run home run. Also took a slider up and away, hit it right down the right field line for a double.
Good cut, fouls it back. 1-2.
Well, you get an idea why Ray strikes out so many people. First of all, it looks like he can be effectively wild. Throws the ball downhill. Looks like he can pitch to both sides of the plate. And loves his fastball, and why not? It's a good one.
Good take there. Now 2-2 on Mancini, leading off here in the 4th. There it goes. He did it again. Mancini, you can't stop him. Boom, boom, goes deep. 3-0 goes.
God, it's almost like he set him up. Boy, did that ball go a long way.
30 members of his family here to watch him, and he gives them a thrill. And yep, mom's getting used to that. And another $500 for our Maryland Lottery contestant of the game, Larry Miller of Dundalk. What a shot. See Michael Bourne's eyes? Wow.
The 19th home run by a right-handed hitter, excuse me, Robbie Ray. So this is a 2-strike pitch. 109 miles per hour. Major league average at what? 77. 434 feet.
Outside corner called strike. Scope doesn't agree. He's down 0-2. Jonathan bounced into an inning-ending double play in the first. He was up with the bases loaded, 1 down, hit a ground ball back to the pitcher. And he's down on strikes.
So Ray comes back and makes a good pitch.
And Trey Mancini, his 3rd home run.
And his strikeout artist. That's number 4 on the night. Perfect slider. Probably saying, why didn't I do that to Trey Mancini? He was all over the fastball.
Well, to think that Mancini was down in Sarasota just in case. Look what he's doing in the pennant race.
Well, again, it's all about the Steve Pearce injury. He's going to be on the 40-man roster, has to be, and had a terrific year, AA and AAA, but because of the elbow problems, Steve Pearce, the operation, you need a right-handed hitter. Voila.
Well, certainly giving the Orioles an advanced look at what they would have saw in spring training next year.
Well, again, I know a lot of people say, wow, it's only September, but this is September in a pennant race.
And there's a 4-pitch walk. Bank of America alert. J.J. Hardy, highest career batting average versus opponents. Of course, he was in the National League, so he saw the D-backs a lot. What's interesting is he lives in Arizona, but he's never played for the Diamondbacks.
Yeah, well, in Milwaukee, he was a home run guy, and I mean, he could really hit some home runs, which is kind of what he did for the Orioles the first 3 years. Hit 30 the first year in an Oriole uniform.
Takes a strike. Well, Weeder's on at first. He's been on base twice. Weeder's with that double. His first at bat. He now has 6 hits on the homestand, and 4 are in this series. He had 3 last night in the double and went to third on the error and scored on the sac fly. So that is a real good sign that Matt has seen the ball, and he's getting his base hits. Only 1 down. And a strike on the corner.
Yeah, the unusual, Matt came into this game at 214 hitting right-handed, and that's usually the highest average, their higher average side, and then of course because he gets more at bats, he hits more home runs when he's hitting left-handed, which is the case this year. 13 of the 15.
Line down the left field line, fair ball. It stayed fair. Weeders heads to third. Jensen digs it out, and Weeders will be held on a double by Hardy.
Well, you were talking about Scott Coolbaugh trying to get Scope. They hit the ball up the middle. I mean, JJ's done a terrific job of that, but when you hang a breaking ball, and that's what this is going to be, here's your result. So back up the middle, hit the ball the other way, and this time he hooks the hanger down into the corner.
So the Orioles' hottest hitter stays hot. He's got a double and a sac fly, sends Weeders to third.
And I would imagine that maybe they'll play their infield in to some degree. See what Chip Hale does.
By the way, for Hardy, that's his 25th hit this month.
Well, he feels great. He was talking about how the knees, they've hurt him for like the last 10, 12 years. Not the case this year. And the other thing is, you never want to miss 7 weeks when you break your left foot, foul the ball off. But he did miss 7 weeks.
He is having some kind of a month. The Orioles already a run in on the Mancini home run, a chance for more with Drew Stubbs up. Infield is halfway.
Yeah, without a lot of speed at third, Chip Hale's probably figuring, well, if his ball hit at somebody, probably won't send it. Wow. It's a big outside corner.
And a delayed call. Robbie Ray is out of Brentwood, Tennessee. 3rd season. One and one on Stubbs, who struck out his first at bat. Chased the pitch outside, maybe because of the prior pitch.
Well, you can see what he's trying to do. With less than 2 outs, get a ball in the air.
He has 1 RBI as an Oriole. Well, the Orioles now with 5 hits, Jim. They've gone 13 straight games without a 10-hit game. Their last 10-hit game was September 10th, the Saturday game, the middle game in Detroit. That's the last time they've had 10 hits. They had 12 in that game. And they're halfway there as we play here in the 4th with 2 more hits this inning. One and two on Stubbs. Check swing at a breaking ball. They appeal to first, and he went.
Yeah, he didn't think he swung. Great slider. And of course, Ray can strike you out. This is number 5. This is what they are looking at. Yeah. Bat just went too far, and then he held it up.
So Ray keeps getting big strikeouts. when the Orioles are on the verge of adding to their total. Mike Butcher out for another chat.
Well, that's what he does. And, you know, Butcher's, of course, he is coming out.
Bracho.
Yeah, Bracho's getting loose. But this is, who do you want to pitch to here? Do you want to pitch to the right-hander Adam Jones, or do you want to pitch to Chris Davis? So, you know, a slider for a base hit the first time to Davis. Jonesy's walked and popped up. I mean, the higher average hitter is Jones. The higher runner in scoring position hitter is Jones. He has more trouble with right-handers than left-handers. So unless you think you can't control your stuff and you may walk Chris Davis, you would think he'd want to pitch to Chris. And if you don't and he gives a base hit, boy, second guessers galore.
Now we saw that shot there. You think Caleb's asking Mancini for pointers?
He just wants to borrow one of his RBIs. That's really what it's about.
Caleb will probably start tomorrow in the day game after the night game. 1-0 on Adams, second and third with 2 down. Orioles looking for a big 2-out base hit.
I don't think that this is not a pitcher. I mean, Adams going to be ready, but this is kind of a pitcher round. Yeah, now they're going to walk him. And maybe thought that Adam would chase.
Well, the intentional walk will be the 4th walk allowed by Robbie Ray. And Chris Davis will come up with the bases loaded. Chip Hale on the bench. Been a long year for Arizona. They are 64-89.
Yeah, well, it started, you know, when A.J. Pollock, their best player, got hurt, or along with Goldsmith, their best player. And they started out, what, 12-14, 11-17, and then 13-14. That was the first 3 months. So here you go. The moment of kind of truth right here. If you're a pitcher, you got a chance maybe if you hold it at 3-0. You may be out of the game if you don't. A nice play by Castillo, keeping it in front of him. Easily could have been a wild pitch.
Yeah, he has thrown 8 wild pitches on the year, including the wild pitch in the first inning that Castillo actually should have blocked. So the bases are loaded. Wieters at third, Hardy at second, Jones at first. And the faster runner, Adam Jones, is the trail runner. Ball. Yep. Strike 1.
Yeah, that was kind of always a litmus test when I tried to pitch it. When I, was really wild, they told me if you could throw a ball righty to righty, or in this case lefty to lefty, down and away like that, you got to have a pretty good windup. It was like the perfectly thrown fastball outside corner. And that ball's probably low. And Chris is going to say something to him. They're not going to have any play, but that ball's underneath his knees. Yeah, got to remember the pitch he hit in the first inning up the middle. Of course, they had the shift on now, was a slider. So at least to this point, but that, boy, what a big advantage. Difference between being 2-1 with the bases loaded or 1 ball and 2 strikes. Now you don't have to throw a strike. If you do, you haven't made a good pitch.
Another bouncer.
Well, what does Rick Dempsey always say? That, that's the way he used to tell his guys. Hey, you know where the breaking ball has to be. It has to be underneath the strike zone. I mean, of course, this one's 2 underneath. It's not even a competitive pitch. And then he would get in the way. And that's exactly what Castillo does.
He was acquired by Arizona from Seattle last year for Mark Trumbo. 2-2 with the bases loaded, 2 down. And a base hit towards the middle. It gets on through. Wieters scores. Here's Hardy to score. And a huge 2-out single for Davis. And the Orioles add to the lead. It's now 5-0 in the 4th.
Oh, another nice swing by Chris, because again, very rarely you see him go back up the middle. Usually hooks the ball. So 2 swings tonight. One on a slider, as Chip Hale is going to come out and make the move. This is a rocket. Boom. So again, this way You could see the separation between the hands. He gets the front foot down. And again, tremendous strength. See, foot's down. Really good pitch to hit, and he doesn't miss it.
Well, when it hit the back of the mound, Owings almost got to it. That chases Ray in the fourth.
Fastballs tonight. Davis got one, hit a 2-run single. Same with Mancini with the home runs, change-ups. A few more, but didn't throw a lot for strikes, so they rough him up, get to him early, and now you go to the bullpen. Silvino Braccio, he was the closer down at AAA Reno, their AAA affiliate. 92, 93 slider, in the low 80s, and then a changeup at 83. Briefly pitched for the Diamondbacks last year. There are the numbers this year, so the average is up a little bit more. And again, when you talk about inherited runners, you'd like to be stranded in the 75 to 80% tile, and that obviously is a much higher number than that.
So Robbie Ray chased in the fourth. Orioles have put 5 on the board, have 2 on and 2 out for Manny, who is the 8th Oriole to bat this inning. 0-1.
Yeah, and this, not that this is the case, but you talked about the Diamondbacks at 64 and 89, 52 blown leads.
And they also have the highest ERA in the National League, 5.16. And you look at the splits, Jim, their starters have the highest ERA and their bullpen has the highest ERA.
Hanging slider.
Yeah,
Manny tried to make it 8-0. Just missed it. Well, we told you last night, Brad Ziegler is now a setup man for the Red Sox. Clippard pitched today. He's a Yankee. So that was the back end. Hudson pitched last night, gave up the tying home run to Matt Wieters in the 9th, 2-1 lead. So there's a blown save. That was number 52.
Popped up back of the plate, and it should be in the crowd, and it will be.
Yeah, a little better fastball there after the hanging slider. Trying to get in on Manny's fist.
Bracho out of Venezuela. This is his 5th professional season. He did get into 13 games last year.
And pitched well, didn't he?
Yeah, 1.46 ERA. Just inside.
Yeah, a little extra at 94. A couple of ticks higher than normal. Yeah, hails from where Louis Aparicio in Maracaibo, Venezuela. Turned 24 and back in July.
A little bit out in front.
Yeah, there's the changeup. So Manny's seen all 3 pitches. Yeah, when you throw 92, that's about the major league fastball. So if you can move it around and incorporate your other pitches, there's probably never going to be a wow factor, but you just have to pitch. That's where the game has evolved. Now guys throwing 95 to 97, 98 coming out of the bullpen.
Didn't mean to swing. Ball hit the bat, right back to Bracho, and he gets it to first. But the Orioles sent 8 men to the plate, and it all got started with Trey Mancini's 3rd home run. Another long shot into the bullpen, and the Orioles now with a 5-0 lead. 3 regular season home games. The Orioles are hosting a Birdland Experience weekend for more than 1,000 members of the disability community, providing many of these fans a chance to experience Oriole Park for the first time. The Orioles have continually been working with influential members of the disabled community to help make Oriole Park a welcoming and accessible experience for everyone. And we're also happy to have them here tonight at the ballpark and all weekend long, in fact. Well, 1-1 on Drury leading off. Jensen and Haniger will follow. So Wade Miley 5-run cushion.
Well, this is, again, if you ever read George Will's book, Men at Work, this is a critical inning for pitchers. But what they've tried to encourage, not only Wade Miley, but a lot of the pitchers, and Gallardo did it last night. Tom Cheedy will keep how many times do you actually back-to-back your breaking stuff? Maybe a changeup, maybe a curveball. So you kind of go soft, and then you try to make your pitches. But it's not always fastball, so you can kind of speed up the bat, slow it down. And you can see the numbers that haven't been kind, but really, none of the numbers have been kind. Just pitching better the last 2 times.
Towards Scope, backward spin. Jonathan plays it, and 1 down. That's 11 in a row retired by Wade Miley. And here's our PNC minor league report. PNC for the Achiever and you. We looked at the Bowie ERA leaders last night. Here for the Frederick Keys.
Those are pretty good numbers. You probably have all their pitch counts, their velocities, and all that kind of stuff. Knowing, hey, you got to start somewhere. That's where I started. A-ball. Sometimes you get to, well, it used to be in the old days, you get to go to instructional league. Now it's Arizona Fall League, things like that. Impress somebody, move up a rank, get another rung closer to the big leagues.
Quickly 0-2 on Kyle Jensen.
Well, every time I see Scotty McGregor hanging around and I see a left-hander like Miley, and I go, oh boy, Scotty, the voice of reason. One night we get back from a road trip when Jimmy Johnson was the closer, 50 closers or saves, and I said, hey, tell me about Scotty McGregor, and he goes, well, he never says anything unless it means something. So again, a veteran left-hander that can really pitch. I think he's been able to, along with Davey Wallace, as there's another nice slider. Davey Wallace and Dom Cheedy, who embrace this because, Scotty helps him in spring training. He does the rehab. Hey, sometimes softer is better. And I just get the idea that when Wade Miley came over to the Orioles, he was going to power his way through the American League. That just doesn't work. No, these guys embrace anybody that can really help them. And, when Scotty comes up, remember when he was with Bill Castro? They called him the bullpen whisperer. So again, whatever the 3 of those guys are doing, Miley seems like a much different pitcher. And there's a nice little changeup. We just didn't see a lot of that when he was trying to throw the ball by guys up and in. And I just never thought he was that type of pitcher.
Now 2-0 on Haniger with 2 outs and nobody on. Bounce fair. Manny's got it. Off balance throw, crosses off the bag. But he saved the double and nearly got the out.
Yeah, again, have to go so hard to your right. Haniger, who's been red hot, 3 home runs in his last 11 games. You catch it. There's the save of the double. And then try to take a look at it. And again, look how far he has to go, trying to get his balance right there. He's just going to fling it.
Pretty accurate throw.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Going away from the bag.
I hope he probably would have thrown him out if it was. And then again, Chris Davis has, about 110 feet or 120 feet to make sure it doesn't go by him. If they did not, and I know Dave McCabe, right, comes in, the first base coach, saying, hey, this guy's got a pickoff boom. We're down 5-0. Do not get your whatever picked off. Get a big lead.
Right to Hardy. Oh, tough hop off the glove. That ball was hit hard. And that'll be a base hit. Well, if you're heading to the ballpark tomorrow, come on out and hang out with us at the Masson booth on Utah Street. You can pick up free Masson Orioles giveaways and take free social snapshots. We'll see you tomorrow on Utah Street. So after 12 in a row retired, back-to-back hits on hard hit balls. Here's Segura as the lineup turns over. Just inside.
Yeah, and of course this is what this is the guy the Diamondbacks won up. He's been red hot. Not only, with 436 over the last 44 at bat, but 5 home runs. And they need a hit to get back into this game. And of course, you know what Wade Miley wants to do.
Change up, pop up the Scope.
Well, he'll take an out. He doesn't care what it is.
I thought it was a quiz.
No.
0-2 on the swing and a miss.
See, again, if you looked at film of Wade Miley, you're going, well, he loves to pitch in. Where are the last 2 pitches? Up and away. So at least over the last 2 games and a pitch away from getting out of this 5th, he's been able to get to the arm side of the plate, so it's not as predictable.
And he got him. He chased a bad pitch. Wieters will make the tag on Segura, and the inning ends. So a couple of infield hits with 2 men down. Great play by Machado. Strikeout ends the inning. O's have the lead. Well, the beautiful voice of Jenna Cherry Brock and Don't Miss the Magic. And we want to remind everybody to go to SoundCloud through the end of September for a free download of that song, Don't Miss the Magic. And the Orioles will donate $5 per download to Shannon's Fund over at to fight cancer.
Yeah, great cause.
So,
and that is Brad Brock's wife.
Yes.
Or actually, Brad Brock is the husband. Put it in the proper order.
Well, but it's her song. So.
No, I understand.
Socrates Brito replaces Tomas in right field. I wonder if Chip Hale didn't like the way he ran out that.
Well, he didn't run it out. That's what he didn't like.
Well, there's your answer. Trumbo was the only Oriole not to bat in the 4th.
Well, if you can't run the ball out, you must be tired. Time to go home. Get a good night's sleep. Rest. Because you didn't hustle.
Back to our right.
Yeah, you look at the best tools when you look at the Arizona Diamondbacks. Top 10 players are their minor league guys, and Bracco is, he was the best control guy. I'm going to see what Braden Shipley. He's got the best curveball. He'll start tomorrow afternoon. 1:35 game here.
Trumbo, center field. Back on it, Haniger near the bullpen, and that ball is gone. And Darren O'Day grabs another one.
Yeah.
And
so
the Orioles starting to heat up.
Well, it's nice when you hit the same amount of home runs as the number on your back.
Number 45 for Mark, and another $500 for our Maryland Lottery contestant of the game, Larry Miller of Dundalk.
As we said last night, 44 had a nice ring to it because it was the walk-off home run. Yeah, 92 in the middle of the plate is not going to get it done against Mr. Trumbo. And he hits the big fly, and that's what it was. You think you're going to might have a chance. You run out of room very quickly when he hits him in this ballpark.
Mancini takes high.
You take a look. Best control. Oh, not this pitch. Boom. Gone.
So the Orioles, 2 solos, now have 68 multi-home run games on the year. Trying to time that hanging breaking ball a little bit out in front. You see Trumbo there next to Brian Abel. He leans on the rail there. Buck Showalter pointed out before the game that during the game, Mark doesn't go back and look at much video. He likes to stand there and look at the pitcher to see if he could pick up anything.
And baby puppy Ryan Flaherty shows up every time. I mean, it's unbelievable. I don't know where he's been, but Trumbo hits a home run. Yeah, the other day when he hit the walk-off on Sunday, he said Ryan was late for the handshake.
Yep.
But that was Sunday. Football scores. He had other things to do.
Maybe the University of Maine was playing.
Not on Sunday. NFL. Okay. I know you're busy. NFL has started, by the way. If you
I'll
hadn't
catch
noticed.
up to that in November.
I understand. College football's also started.
Has it?
Yeah.
And Mancini with a vicious cut swings through it.
Yeah, it's almost like he kind of, I mean, not overswing, it's just almost like he was looking away, and certainly can hit the ball in. We saw him do it the other night, but figured maybe the ball was going to do something else. Swings right through it. And this ball runs in and doesn't quite get to it.
First strikeout for Bracho since he came on. So the Orioles have scored in 4 of their 5 at-bats here tonight and have 7 hits. Schoop is 0 for 2, bouncing into a double play to end the first. That ball's hit sharply and off the glove and down the line. Drury couldn't get it. And Jonathan is going to hustle to second base. It was hit sharply, but he got his glove there. Just didn't make the play.
Yeah, well, again, it's a hot corner, and that corner got hotter right there, because this ball, I mean, it's a hanging, breaking ball, and he smokes it. Yeah, I don't know if they'll give him a hit or not. He'd certainly like to have it. So he's in a position, he doesn't catch it. That's going to be an error, unfortunately. I mean, but hit real hard. You could see it kind of hooking on the ground. Couldn't quite get the glove to his right. So frustrating for the Diamondbacks. Certainly not where they wanted to be in this game.
And that is an error on Drury. Arizona's 2nd in the game, and they're 97th on the year. And Wieters now will bat left-handed. And a strike. And Mark Trumbo leaning on the rail to check out the pitchers. But Showalter, he watches everything.
No, all the gifts, but when he was with the Yankees, that's what Billy Martin told him, who he said did see everything. I mean, that's what managers have to do. I mean, you got to be able to. You got to see, batting practice to get, he'll go out. Of course, we've seen this now since he's been here with his fungo. He'll go out and talk to people, talk to pitchers, talk to players, utility guys. Once the game starts, spring training, did they hit the cutoff man's where everybody is? Ryan Flaherty again bonding with the major league home run hitter.
Trying to get batting tips.
No, they do that. They work. Those two work all the time. They'll come out of the tunnel going, we found it. We figured it out. Of course, for Ryan Flaherty, he never gets to play, so it's you never would know if he's hot or not.
Well, the Orioles had 9 hits last night. Flaherty is just 2 for 7 for the entire month. So now he's talking to the hitting coach, Scott Coolball.
Well, the best month was, for the Orioles, 6.6 is, look at Leone and Dominic getting loose. It was June, and that's when Hardy was hurt. Flaherty at 283 that month.
Wieters to right. I think he got under it. Brito towards the line as that ball fades and it hits the facade of the stands in foul territory.
Yeah, he almost caught that ball. We saw his arm last night when he threw out Hardy at the plate. But Flaherty, as you take a look right here, and again, unfamiliar ballpark, played left last night. Almost got that ball.
Yeah.
Nice effort.
Replacing Tomas in right field.
Got the big poppy kind of beard or whatever that comes down.
So another run in and a 6-0 Oriole lead. And the bluff back to the base. One down in the inning with Schoop at second. Swept to the right side off the breaking ball. In the shift is Segura, and he gets the hustling Wieters for the second out. Let's get a look at our Mile 1 upcoming schedule, brought to you by Mile 1 Automotive, offering you 20 convenient locations throughout the Baltimore area. Visit us in store or online at mile1.com. Finale against Arizona tomorrow, 1:30 first pitch. We'll be on MASN 2. Then it's a day off on Monday. And the Orioles hit the road for the final 6 extremely important games back in the division. Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday in Toronto. Friday, Saturday, Sunday at New York. And then hopefully heading to the playoffs. Hardy takes a strike. So the 6 runs scored by the Orioles, the most since the first game against Tampa Bay, first game of this homestand. They lost that game 7-6.
Yeah, it was a bad omen, that game. You know, they were trailing 7-4. Almost came back, but if you remember that the run scored, the 7th run scored for Tampa on the broken bat and almost hit Manny Machado.
Yes.
And you kind of distracted him, and that was the 7th run, and that would be the winning run in that ball game. And the Oilers would win 5-4 the next night, and then on the final game 2-1 on the Trumbo home run.
Wow. Up and in, 1-2 on Hardy, who has an RBI and a sac fly and a double and a run scored.
Well, again, Bracho not that overpowering, so he really has to pitch to the edges of the plate. And when he got one in the middle, Trumbo deposited it deep to left center field.
Scope at third with 2 down. A run in on the Trumbo home run is 45th. Off the end of the bat to left. Jensen over towards the line. And he's got it. So the inning ends. Mark Trumbo, number 45, hit it into the Orioles bullpen. That extends the Orioles lead. We head to the 6th. 6-0 O's. Officer Sufyan Hassan of the Baltimore City Police Department. Now, Officer Hassan is part of the Pennsylvania Avenue Initiative, which cultivates relationships within the Pennsylvania and North Avenue communities and encourages community-based policing, strives for building positive relationships with community members to help ensure safe neighborhoods. We thank Officer Sufyan Hassan, who inspires us through his dedication to cultivating positive relationships where Baltimore needs it most. And we have so much enjoyed all season long the Birdline Community Heroes. We've been introduced to such fascinating people that give of themselves to help everybody else in the community, and that's what it's all about. There's a bouncer left side. Hardy plays the hop, gets it to first to get the hustling Owings 1 down.
Yep. Well, he wants to play the rest of the game, and Chris Owings can do a lot of stuff. He's had a nice year, and that's the way you run base, balls out. They're not routine if you run that way. And, of course, as an infielder, he certainly knows that. And meanwhile, how about Wade Miley? What a game he's pitching. A couple of big outs. The Segura strikeout, chance to get back into the game. He strikes him out.
This ball's trouble for Trumbo. It's slicing away from him and bounces against the scoreboard. Big carom knocked down by Mark, and Goldschmidt will slide into second with a double. That's just good hitting.
Yeah, that's what he does. I mean, he's closing in on 300. That's where he usually hits. This year, as we mentioned, 15 intentional walks. It's just a breaking ball. Watch it hang up. Now it becomes hittable. He lets it travel. He doesn't. We saw him hit home runs against the Orioles in Arizona the other way. Tremendous strength. And as we mentioned, Tuesday, Wednesday, hit 3 home runs. 2 on Wednesday in San Diego.
Wellington Castillo, the catcher, 1 out of 2 with a first inning single. And he'll look over strike 1.
Well, you wonder why he's hitting 4th, and again, A.J. Pollock out for the year, and then with the elbow, and then he came back and then had a groin pull. They think he may play when they go to Washington after tomorrow's game. But he, almost 300 with runners in scoring position. So, maybe not a lot of home runs. Matt Williams.
Look out, Matt. Well, he played the hot corner. He's used to that.
Yeah, but he had a glove, and
and he was younger.
You could see where, he moves up, for a couple of reasons. Because Goldsmith's out at second base, but also trying to get out of harm's way. Tell you what, we used to coach first base in the minor leagues. That's what you did. Coach first, and you can I mean, balls start going at you, and you could hear them. Still remember being in Elmira when Tug McGraw threw his curveball. You could actually hear the ball spin.
Boy, what a different picture the last 2 starts. Swing and a miss. He got him.
Well, again, it's just, you know, it's like he's discovered the whole other side of the plate. And when you do that, it's harder to hit. You know, this is a ball, but again, if you watch the film, you'd go, hey, he doesn't pitch away. Well, he is tonight. He did on Sunday against Tampa Bay. Had to leave that game because of the upper back spasm. It's been really just under the throwing shoulder. But yeah, again, they kind of like the Gosman rib. They came and went. And tonight, to this point, the best that he's been for the Orioles. Even though he's pitched, you know, a couple of the games have been pretty good, but not to this degree.
Hit towards Scope, towards the middle, backward spin. He plays it. He throws. He got him.
Well, I'll tell you, there's a time clock on the good defenders, and Jonathan knew how Brito runs. So get rid of it quickly, accurately, and you get an out. It's Orioles trying to make it 2 in a row of the Diamondbacks. Early lead off of Robbie Ray. Machado single to right, and then boom, boom. Boy, does he hit him. 3rd home run of the week, and then Chris 3-0. You know, they kind of pitch around Jones, bases loaded, hits a 2-run single up the middle, makes it 5-0. The score now 6-0. After the Trumbo home run, Geico 15 minutes could save you 15% or more in car insurance. Visit geico.com for a free rate quote.
6-0 O's as they come to bat here in the 6th. Drew Stubbs will lead off, and back to the top of the order for Adam Jones and then Chris Davis. Wade Miley, 6 shutout innings on just 79 pitches. So Leon comes on. And a breaking ball from Leon, so he quickly gets ahead 0-2. Here's the pitch arsenal, Jim.
Yeah, so again, you know, Dominic, fastballs, it's 93. That's most guys on this team. He has a cut fastball, about 89, and then a slider to go with it. And there's a fastball.
And there's Segura. High, out. Wayne Kirby thought the foot might have been in the air. Ed Hickox disagreed.
Yeah, got to hurry with Stubbs running. Well, he's kind of waiting.
Well, I'm sure Buck is going to ask the video room to take a look at it.
Yeah,
he may have gotten down.
Yep. Well, take a look. I mean, this is what umpires have to try to contend.
I think he got him. I think he got the toe back.
Well, I mean, again, if they had called him safe, I don't think there's anything to say that he wasn't, because it looked like it was bang, bang, tie. Could have gone either way, but they called him out. Nothing to change it, so they're not going to challenge.
First year that Segura's playing second base. Career long shortstop.
Yeah, so you know, again, not a lot of innings for Dominic. You know, as you expand the rosters, high averages, obviously, you know, almost 400 righty and lefty.
There's Adam, who has walked twice. There's a news flash. And popped up to the catcher.
And there's the cutter. Hard one at 88. Well, Leon has been pitching well. What, 5 of his last 7 games scoreless. Good numbers down at AAA Reno. 5-2. Low ERA, 3.43. Good slider right there.
And Owings a nice play. And 2 quick outs. Well, we invite you to go beyond the stadium and discover Venice on Florida's Gulf Coast, recently recognized as one of the top 2 happiest seaside towns in America for 2015 by Coastal Living magazine. Plan now at visitsarasota.org. Leone gets a couple of groundouts, 2 downers. Chris Davis, who had a huge base hit in the 4th inning.
Yeah, they try to match up and got fastball for strike 1, and Robbie Gray, slider the 1st inning for a base hit, left that in the middle of the plate, and the fastball was pretty much. Well, what you like to see is that, again, I mean, the swing through the zone, back up the middle, smoked one, as you mentioned. It slowed it down because it hit the mound, but hit it really hard.
Well, he's 2 for 3, and it's his first multi-hit game since September 6th in Tampa, when he went 2 for 3 in that game. Dominic Leone is the 3rd pitcher used tonight. Good looking breaking ball for a called strike 3. It came back and hit the outside corner. Leone is a 3-up, 3-down inning. We head to the 7th. Miley back to work. Orioles players went out and mingled with the fans. They took their places at concession stands. There's Francisco Pena, who is helping serve. It's Paul Yanish. There's Caleb Joseph with the kids.
Donnie Hart, I think. No?
Donnie Hart, a pitcher at the batting kit.
But he was also, he also played. Didn't he play in the outfield?
Oliver Drake having fun.
Yeah.
So nice gesture by the Orioles players, getting out there and mingling with the fans on Fan Appreciation Weekend. Here's Drury, who takes low from Wade Miley, who was pitching a gem. 6 shutout innings on just 79 pitches. That was number 80.
Matty's Vanny. I mean, you got the big out of Sakura with a strikeout. The same thing with Tomas back in the 1st. A couple of base hits after the Orioles like break. So he's changed speeds. He's made quality pitches. He's got the 2 times he's got into trouble, he's gotten out of those. And meanwhile, the Orioles have scored 6 runs for him. And I have him for 7 strikeouts. I know you keep your.
I have him for 8.
Okay, that's what I said. You keep a better card. Sorry,
I have
Wade.
him for 9.
There's 9. Well, in my card 8. Sorry, Wade.
He likes my card better.
I'm sure he does. Really nice pitch. Take a little bit off. Execute your pitch. Relax. And just change speeds. And as you mentioned, he has done this. Well, let me count those Ks again. Just in case you're wrong. Because this could be the first time that I've ever
made a mistake.
No, it's not. No, I heard from the truck. It's not. No kidding.
Well, I thought we were onto something there. You were admitting to something. Fly ball, left center field. Adam Jones is going to glide back to it. And he's got it. So 2 quick outs here in the 7th inning. Well, make every day game day when you order the official Orioles Maryland license plate. It features the popular cartoon bird. The plate is a great way to help support Orioles reach and our community, with proceeds going to the Orioles Charitable Foundation. To date, more than $110,000 has been raised for our community thanks to the sales of these license plates. Now, to reserve your plate and show off your Birdland pride, go online, Orioles.com/plates. I may have to get one of those. Maybe they can.
I've been looking for one.
Maybe they can give me number 22.
No.
You think so?
I tried that already. They said they didn't have it. I tried for cakes. I'm sure there's some bakery, on a Pataraxis or whatever. They got that or something. Then I wanted JP22. They said that was taken. I'm going, please. But you don't argue with the DMV.
No.
No, they give you. Yeah. Thank you so much for even giving me a license plate. And
look at how efficient he's been, including an 8-pitch 3rd inning, 9-pitch 6th inning.
Well, he's been around the plate and he's made quality pitches, and that's how you induce low pitch counts, and that's how you get outs. I mean, those are little slider cutter. Think you're going to get a fastball, and you don't. And then tonight he's just pitching under control.
Struck him out, and there's number 10. Wade Miley is pitching a masterpiece. 7 shutout innings, 7th inning stretch, and the O's enjoy in the game. It's Miller time, brought to you by Miller Lite. How about the first week in the big leagues for Mr. Trey Mancini? Eduardo Rodriguez on Tuesday night hits it into the bullpen. His mom can't believe it. Well, that was just getting things started. How about David Price? 3-run shot that tied the game on Thursday night at 3. And tonight he goes deep to center field off Robbie Ray. Another one into the bleachers. And Trey Mancini having himself a tremendous week. And the Orioles having a tremendous night, leading at 6-0. And welcome into the booth, Jim and Jim, on this Saturday night. And here's the hat that all fans tomorrow get. This is a nice hat with the Maryland flag on the brim, and of course the cartoon bird. That's the giveaway tomorrow. So we hope you can come out and join us for the final home game of the year. But how about this? Outstanding starting pitching, clutch hitting, and add-on runs in the same game.
Well, yeah, you need a big weekend. So you get to walk off. You come back and tie it in the 9th, and Trumbo wins it after Wieters ties it in the 9th with a home run. The Diamondbacks should never take a team like that because they've 6-5 in their last 11 games, certainly underachieving for the year, but that's been a long time. So you just come out and take care of business. And tonight, I think that's what they envisioned when they got Wade Miley, that he would be able to pitch games like that, and then with the Orioles offense, he would have the kind of result we've seen tonight.
And of course, this a big game as Manny will lead off. Dominic Leone stays on, down and away. With the Tigers losing today, an Orioles win puts the Orioles back into the number 2 position for the wild card. They would leapfrog over Detroit.
Well, they'll be tied in the loss. I think that's what you look at. They've just played one more game.
Yeah, the Orioles are one of the few teams that actually has Monday off. There are a lot of series that begin on Monday, and then there's the Yankees and Blue Jays series, the carryover series. Tigers have a 4-game series against the Indians beginning on Monday.
Oh, yay.
Soft line drive to center, and that's going to fall for a base hit. Manny has a 2-hit night, his 53rd multi-hit game of the year, and a leadoff single. For every Orioles walk, CareFirst Blue Cross Blue Shield contributes $50 to support the Be More for Healthy Babies. The Orioles have drawn 446 walks for a total of $22,300. CareFirst Blue Cross Blue Shield encourages each of us to take that first step towards a healthier and a more active lifestyle. Mark Trumbo, 1 out of 2. He's won a home run into the Oriole bullpen, number 45.
Yeah, Leone actually, he came over with Castillo from Seattle, so and then up and down this season.
And that was in the Trumbo trade.
Yeah, exactly. So Trumbo gets to hit against the guy he got traded for.
Bouncer the other way, the base hit, inside out swing.
Well, how about these two swings? Boy, the Orioles have been looking for this all the month of September. Controlled swing by Manny. Second one, as you mentioned, he got 2 hits tonight. And look at this, breaking ball and inside out. It's the way Mark Trumbo started the year against the Twins. Again, don't overswing. I've already hit home runs in back-to-back games. Slice it into right field. Nobody plays there. Michael Bourne will come in as the Orioles with a 6-0 lead are going to let him rest. Boy, what a night he's had. You also get a little bit better defensive player. So high fives. And there's Scott Kuhlbach, the Oriole hitting instructor, saying, what'd that feel like? Waiting on the breaking ball and slicing it into right field. Boy, is that frustrating if you're a pitcher.
Now here's Trey. He has homered and he has struck out twice. Chew on with nobody out. More than 30 members of the Mancini family are scattered around the ballpark.
Well, yeah, when he was going to play that first game, he said, my mom and I think my couple of brothers here, but the rest of them are coming for the weekend.
And they're here.
Yeah, and how would you like to pick up the check for breakfast tomorrow? Good take. So now you swing through the first one, then you read the second one. So we know he's got power. We've seen him also right down the right field line on a breaking ball. But these were against lefties. Let's see how he does against the righties, because the reason with the Pierce injury is that he fared so well against left-handers at AAA this year. And there's the low and away slider, you know, that can be, I mean, it's probably the toughest pitch for guys to hit. I guess maybe the splitter. And that was a good one.
Stands away from the plate so he can extend the arms.
And then the slider's also a strikeout double play ball, righty to righty. So another nice adjustment. Swung through 2 good breaking balls and took 2 off the plate.
Well, he is a foul line to foul line hitter. He loves hitting the ball the other way. Two and 2 on him with 2 on and nobody out. And another good take. So when they saw the swing and a miss at the slider, they went back to it back-to-back pitches, and the count goes full.
Well, they want to stay away from the heater, and I don't know, you know, they might even do it here. I mean, that's the difference between the minor leagues and the big leagues. If they think they can get you out with a breaking ball and you're a successful major league pitcher, you usually can command your stuff enough to throw a strike. Maybe it won't be the same quality 3-2 because of the count, but no guarantee he's going to get a heater. But he got one.
Right to Segura. It deflects off Segura, and everybody is safe. Another hard hit ball.
Yeah, that's going to be a base hit. You better bring out the body armor if you're going to play second base on those balls. Stayed right through it. He finally got a fastball to hit and didn't miss it. Crunches it. Short hop. You know what he's trying to do. But again, just a rocket right at his feet.
So the bases are loaded with nobody out for Scope.
And I would assume they scored that a base hit.
Scoreboard has an error.
No. Are you kidding me? Well, there you go. Well, obviously, no, that's it. Our scorer didn't ever play second base. That'll get changed. That was not a average, normal major league ground ball. Bulleted your feet. Knocked them into the outfield.
And 0-1 on Scope. Chased the pitch outside, 0-2.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised. You know, Ryan Flaherty, as you mentioned, doesn't get to play a lot, but you got Shipley pitching, good curve baller. And maybe you rest Jonathan, who's played every game tomorrow plus the off day. It'd be like taking a 2-week vacation.
Jim Henneman is the scorer tonight.
Yeah, well, I mean, I've been one of my good friends, but if you look around and you ask the other guys, or you ask anybody that ever played,
there's Cook, who was the losing pitcher last night.
They're going to say that was a very difficult play to make. So you might change it. It's a fair guy. Maybe you won't. You got to make the call if you're a scorer.
Right. Jonathan is 0 for 3. Reached on an error's last at bat. A hard hit ball off the glove of Drury at third base. Gets a piece to stay alive.
Yeah, Jonathan, you know, the home runs are up dramatically because he's played. I mean, he's almost at a point now where, let's see, about 280, at least coming in this game, 280 more at bats.
Yeah.
The home run ratio was more last year. Now the home runs are up because he's got more at bats, and he's been able to play. Last year was the knee injury he suffered up in Boston. Had a terrific year. But hit 15 home runs and 305 at bats last year.
And then down on strikes he goes. Foul tip held.
And it's not only the physical part. I mean, it's the emotional part. First time you've ever played that much. And he's played at such a high level.
Over 600 plate appearances for Schoop this year.
And again, I mean, a very important part of the Orioles' success. But a lot of times you look. Most managers look for places where you can rest people and give them an extra day, and with an off day, you never know. I'm looking forward to the lineup tomorrow.
Here's Wieters, bases loaded, 1 down. Bounce towards first, wide of first. Goldschmidt gloves to second, one back to first, and they get the double play with the pitcher Leon covering up. So the Orioles load the bases with nobody down. Strikeout and a double play will end the inning. We'll head to the 8th. The O's enjoying a 6-0 lead. It is brought to you by PNC Bank for the Achiever in you, and by Antwerpen Toyota. Get in the game this season with a new Toyota from Antwerpen Toyota. Big crowd on hand, 40,610 tonight. Fans enjoying their Saturday night. Michael Bourne, who pinch ran for Mark Trumbo, stays in the game in right field. That is the only change defensively, and Mr. Miley goes back to work. 7 shutout innings.
There were a couple of number ones at the ballpark. Bourne out and right, and then Al Bunbury came in.
You saw the B today?
The B was doing some sweet stuff, and for the Orioles. I said, boy, I looked down on the field, and I said, I thought I saw you again last. Al wore the same number 1. What a player Al was.
So Gosselin DHing. He is 1 out of 2 with an infield hit.
Yeah, he hit the kind of a rolling line drive that right to J.J. Hardy. And there's another one. Yeah, I don't want to try him too often. As a matter of fact, I mean, if you go back and look at the Gosselin hit to Hardy, what was the difference between that and the one Mancini hit? That's why they're going to change it. Yeah, go ahead. You can read whatever you need to do.
What's that?
I know you wanted to read something and do something. I know because
I was enjoying.
We do whatever we're told. Well, most of the time.
0-1 off the bat of Segura, who is hitless. Wade Miley.
Well, the strikeout in the 5th inning. Chance at the time is what, 5-0, and it was able, a couple of guys on, 2 outs. Really, great slider to strike him out. One of their hottest hitters. The thing is, they actually have been swinging the bat pretty well.
Well, they're 3rd in the National League in team batting.
Yeah, well, I mean, last year they were 2nd in runs, and they came in at over 303 with runners in scoring position. Dave Magadan, the hitting instructor, on the right, and then Chip Hale, the skipper. So runs haven't been the problem, as you mentioned. And he's going. It's down.
Number 11.
Yeah, Segura wants to get to 200 hits, and it doesn't help. And he thinks the ball was on the ground. It probably was low. Take a look right there. And he's going to plead his case to no avail. Strikeout number 11.
Well, did go over the front knee. Ties a career high with number 11. Owings looks at it low.
Yeah, for Wade, he actually pitched a complete game back against Kansas City. 9 innings for the Orioles, with the longest against Toronto lost. Only gave up 3 runs. Pitched well. Pitched 7. They just haven't had a lot of pitches to hit tonight.
Well,
this is now 11 2/3 consecutive scoreless innings for him, with the 4 in his last start before he left with the back tightness.
Well, totally different approach in command.
Right to Schoop.
Another jam shot.
And a 3-up, 3-down inning for Wade Miley, who may get a chance to complete the game. We head to the bottom of the 8th with the O's in front. to wrap up this final homestand of the regular season. Final regular season home game with Dylan Bundy on the mound against Braden Shipley. Our coverage on MASN 2 begins at 1 o'clock with those extra presented by Southwest, and then game coverage at 1:30. We've got all the access you need right here on MASN.
Well, obviously, you know, the Diamondbacks, if they lose, they'll want to avoid a sweep. Shipley, the best curveball in their organization back-to-back years. Dylan Bundy, what a story it would be, and coming off the loss to the Red Sox, if he won 10 games this year. So, you know, obviously not all as a starter, but you know, he started. You know, the innings are, you know, where you'd like, so he can build for the future, and he's really pitched pretty well. And Matt Cook will come on last night. Came in to pitch the 12th and gave up the 2-strike walk-off home run to Mark Trumbo, who hit a high fastball. So again, not a lot of appearances because he spent most of the time down at, you know, starting in Double-A Mobile or Reno at Triple-A. And again, he was acquired from the Mets a year ago for Addison Reed.
It's J.J. Hardy, who's had a good night. Sac fly for an RBI, double and a run scored. Broken back ground ball to Segura. One down in the 8th. Our league leaderboard brought to you by Coons.com. Over 2 million vehicles sold and counting. Well, home runs, very important to the Orioles. The highest percentage of runs by the home run, 51.7 for the Orioles on the year. Most in the league, second most in all of Major League Baseball. Tonight, 2 of the 6. Mancini and Trumbo with solo home runs. So when you're scoring more than half of your runs on the long balls, that is impressive.
Well, it is, and you like a lot of the other bats, and it started in the first inning when Manny poked a single in between first and second. Went with a pitch off of Robbie Ray. You know, Chris Davis got a base hit on a slider, hit it up the middle, stayed on that pitch after Adam Jones walked. You know, in fact, 2 of the Manny Machado hits have been, you know, to right fielder up the middle.
Ooh! Right in the back to Drew Stubbs. Ouch, you heard that up here.
Yeah. No, you know, you look at the scoreboard, I don't think he's doing this on purpose, and boy, it's got to hurt. Back of the ribs. Painful way to get on base.
Well, Boston came back and beat Tampa 6-4. They were trailing, so they've won 10 in a row.
Pedroia.
And that clinches a playoff berth. They have not yet wrapped up the AL East, but they've clinched at least a playoff berth.
Yeah, I think I read that Dustin Pedroia hit a 3-run home run to erase the deficit.
Porcello won his 22nd.
Well, that's how you do it. You pitch great.
Stick around.
Yeah, well, yeah, you pitch great. You stick around. They scored a lot of runs for him all year long. But again, if you only pitch 5 or 6 innings, you don't get to qualify for wins. Hit a very hittable slider right there. Adam would still like to hit a couple. He'd like to hit a couple home runs without trying to hit a couple home runs. 28 home runs.
Tyler Wilson now getting loose. The Pedroia home run, by the way, was a grand slam. He hit it in the 7th inning.
Yeah, shorted him a run. That'll work.
So they were down 4-2, and Pedroia took care of that. That ball's hit hard to center field, but right there is Haniger, and 2 men down. An annual fan favorite has returned. The 2017 Orioles Pet Calendar, presented by Pet ER, is now on sale at Orioles.com/pet calendar. It's on sale at the ballpark and at the official team store in York. The proceeds benefit Barks, the Baltimore Animal Rescue and Care Shelter. Enjoy 16 months of your favorite birds posing with their favorite dogs and cats. Each year the calendar does sell out, so get your copy very soon at Orioles.com/pet calendar. Man by himself.
Yeah, they're going to leave him alone. The way he's going. You know, I was reading an amazing number. We look at Chris Davis, who's had a nice night. But David Ortiz hit his 540th home run last night. Been up 6,800 times. Closing in on 60. Been hit 37 times. It's a game change. Guys don't pitch inside. 37 times at almost 7,000 at bats. Apparently they must like guys hitting home runs. They hardly pitch Chris in very whole lot. I mean, you can see the protection on the right arm.
Well, you didn't throw it, guys, did you?
A couple. Really. I mean, you know, in 4,000 innings. Cal got hit his first year as I was going out to pitch in ninth, and he asked when somebody was going to protect somebody. And in a 2-2 ball game, I hit Carlton Fisk. Because, you know, he hit home runs off me and he was annoying anyway. He's a terrific guy, Hall of Famer. So I hit him, and that was a stupid thing to do. And how do you get to the Hall of Fame? You hit the leadoff hitter with a 2-2 ball game. Not smart in the ninth inning. Bobby Grich hit a home run. We won 3-2. And then a guy that would be my teammate, Danny Ford. It's kind of, you know, two-seamer down at the kneecaps.
Right into the shift. And Davis will be retired at first base by the third baseman Drury. So we head to the ninth. Miley going back to work, looking to complete it.
Probably pitched like he did on Sunday against Tampa Bay. And has he ever? He end up striking out 11. A variety of pitches. Very efficient. Both sides of the plate. You know, soft stuff, hard stuff. Key strikeouts when he needed it. And meanwhile, his team's getting him 6 runs. So a chance already has one complete game. Pitched the one-hitter against the Cubs over 7 innings. And so again, you know, don't really, when you get into the ninth inning, nothing changes. You still make your pitches. You know, maybe you're a little fatigued. It doesn't always the arm. You can see 102 pitches. Slow the body down, speed up the arm.
Hook towards the corner. On the run is Stubbs. That's a foul ball.
And you kind of like that. Because Goldsmith already with a double took a curveball and hit it down the right field line, and that average now at 300. Well, he is, especially with Pollock out there, best guy. I mean, he's the guy that, you know, obviously you want to get him out here, but you don't want him to beat you, and he can with a long ball. He can beat you with his legs, beat you with his glove. We saw him turn the double play. One of the best players in the National League, and that's what interleague play does. It allows you to see him.
2 for 3 with a double and a single here tonight. This one's ripped into left field. So he's got a 3-hit night. Drew Stubbs will play it back in. Orioles baseball on MASN is brought to you by Southwest. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. And by visitannapolis.org. Create your moment at visitannapolis.org. So this is the first time in the entire game Wade Miley has allowed the leadoff man to reach. That's saying something here in the ninth inning. A little bit low, 1-0.
Well, when I was coming through the minor leagues, I was taught that when I was 18. And, you know, of course, when you walk 130 and 129 innings, if you got the first guy out, you could load him up and still throw the double play ball. That's kind of one of those negative positive things. But
way out in front. Well, the most popular way to follow the Orioles postseason push is with MLB.com at bat. It's the #1 app for live baseball. You can enjoy game day with live game video highlights, StatCast, news, and more. Get MLB.com at bat on your favorite devices right now. That is a wonderful app.
Would love to throw a ground ball at one of his guys. So again, 2 complete. We talked about the one this year against Kansas City. Again, in this age, you don't keep complete games. No need to do it.
Another hanger, but he's out in front.
Well, he got it in, and you know it's hard to you either break your bat or you do exactly what Wellington Castillo does. You yank it foul. And now again, you know, the thing is, how do I pitch down in the strike zone, which is what he's done so well tonight. And you get a little bit tired. What happens is your arm drags. So just make sure you throw this ball under the strike zone. Got to get him to roll over. But 2, not even close to being a strike, so he just takes it.
Well, Tyler Wilson's still getting loose out there just in case. And pitch count now, what, 105, 106. So.
Well, you got to be careful because you got Tyler Wilson and you got a 6-run lead. But remember, go back to the Tiger game today. What was it, 4-2? There's the good pitch.
Adam Jones will get back on it. And 1 down here in the 9th. Fans, we invite you to visit MASSonSports.com/CareFirst and vote for tonight's CareFirst Fearless Player of the Game. Live fearless with a name trusted for over 75 years. CareFirst Blue Cross Blue Shield. I think number 38 is going to get a lot of votes. There's Socrates Brito. He is batting for a 2nd time. He replaced Yasmani Tomas in right field. No reason was given for the change. And Mr. Palmer has his theory.
Well, he didn't run, and next thing you know, now maybe he didn't run because he was hurt. We never know. You know, there's some of those things we don't. He was running around in right field.
Slow roller to first.
Yeah, better get there.
Davis hustling, and he gets there ahead of Brito.
Yeah, nice. Really heads-up play, only because he's seen him run today, last night in defense. So you know you got to catch it, and then you better scurry over there, which is exactly what he does. Nice pitch by Wade Miley. He's there. As Chris says, I'll take it myself. So
I think Brito held up when he saw he was going to collide with Davis. Well, the fans are coming to their feet. Not often you see a complete game. Brandon Drury. 0 for 3 on the night, including a strikeout, 1 of the 11 Ks. A little bit low, 1-0.
Well, he'd like to keep the game in line. He'd like to break up the shutout. I mean, not only complete game, but a chance to pitch a shutout here. How often do you see that?
Well, if he pulls it off, the Diamondbacks scored 2 runs last night, single runs in the 1st and 2nd inning. They then went 10 scoreless innings, and the Orioles won in 12. And it would be 9 scoreless innings here tonight. So 19 consecutive scoreless by Orioles pitching if he gets this final out without that run coming in from second base.
Yeah, maybe this is the Ben McDonald effect. You know, one of
Ben's here, that's right.
Yeah, you know, they live about 25 miles apart down in Louisiana. And of course, Ben, Orioles #1 draft choice, right-handed.
Slice to right field. Back on it is Bourne. Near the wall. It's over his head and against the wall. Arizona's going to score as Goldschmidt comes in on an RBI double by Drury. So a good piece of hitting there, going with it the other way. And here comes Buck, and the fans reacting to Buck. But he's got one thing on his mind: win this game.
Well, again, he noticed the Detroit score, so anything can happen. I mean, it's not about the complete game, even though it's been great. It's about winning, and that's exactly what Wade Miley allows the Orioles to be in position to do.
So Wilson comes on in the 9th. The Orioles may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Orioles.
Well, they're the numbers, and they're splendid. He gets in and out of trouble on a couple of occasions. Doesn't walk anybody. Lead off guys in every inning but the 9th. 11 strikeouts. Very efficient. 116 pitches, and Tyler Wilson will come in to get an out, hopefully, and with a 6-1 lead. So he's a strike thrower. You know, started the year in the bullpen, some starts, and then again, a little better out of the bullpen as a starter.
His 3rd appearance since coming back to rejoin the team when the roster's expanded. He last worked on Monday against Boston. Had an inning and a 3rd scoreless. Just outside.
Yeah, with all the rest, the velocity was up a couple of ticks. You know, when he started, it was
Fly ball to center field. This should do it. Adam Jones comes in. He makes the catch. And the Orioles have put together back-to-back wins, short of the series win. And now they go for a 3-game sweep tomorrow. And the Orioles now back in a playoff spot. They have leaped over the Tigers. They're in that number 2 wild card position because of the gem of Wade Miley. Final score at Camden Yards as the Orioles make it back-to-back wins. Baltimore 6, Arizona 1.